Hey guys and girls, so today we're going to be looking at something that NOVRITSCH sent me again, and for you ghillie snipers out there, you might want to stay tuned because this is going to be very interesting for you. So as you can see inside this box, NOVRITSCH jam-packed it with 7 different varieties of leaves and also his raffia, as you can see. So let me take some of these out, guys, so you can see them. Put them to one side. So as you can see, there's smaller boxes and there's actually also larger boxes. And with all these leaves in front of me, the main thing I wanted to do, guys and girls, was test them, right? But I want to compare them against the next best leaf out there for ghillie sniping and crafting, and that would be these guys, which are sneaky leaves. Now these sneaky leaves that I have here are pretty old and tattered. These are the only ones I've left. As a lot of you know who are in the sniping role, ghillie role, sneaky leaves are kind of discontinued and are really hard to get your hands on. So I guess NOVRITSCH saw this as an opportunity to bring out his own and try and improve on them. So we will be comparing these leaves that we have here against sneaky leaves, and we're going to test multiple different things. So I know what you're saying, how the hell are you going to review a product like leaves? But actually you'll find that I've done some pretty amazing tests actually. So in my review today you'll be seeing a test on the toughness, on the color changing when they absorb water, on how light passes through them, comparison on my ghillie suit. How does NOVRITSCH's leaves look on my ghillie suit? How does it blend in? So I got some clips filmed outside for that. So there's a lot that we'll be going through with these leaves. So if you stay tuned, you'll see everything there is to know about them. So we've got 7 different types, like I said, all laid out. And there's 2 main types. There's the LC1 leaves and there's LC2 leaves. LC1 are larger type leaves and LC1 are smaller type leaves. Totally different. So right here in my hand are all of NOVRITSCH's 7 leaves. Now what he's done here, guys, is, so these are the large ones, these are LC1 leaves, and these are the smaller ones, LC2 leaves, right? So these are smaller tri-pattern leaves, and this is like a double pattern leaves. They all have this small little mounting point here, which NOVRITSCH's, which essentially these NOVRITSCH things are used for mounting. And now the beauty with these, you can mount them. They actually work very well with the KMCS, so they poke through the little holes in the breathable suit that Kinky Mustang owns, and they also will poke through things like mesh, which means you can easily camo up lower face mass and all that kind of stuff. So I really like them, and the beauty is when they're mounted, they're actually quite a strong. It's actually quite a strong bond. It's hard to pull them off. But if you want to change the colors out, you just pull it off, take your next color leaf and put it on. So that takes me to the main parts. So color wise, what NOVRITSCH has done is he's got one for every time of the year. So yeah, these ones effectively are for right now, summer months. But then you've also got transition from summer slightly into autumn. So late summer, where it's starting to yellow up and die. And then you've got autumn, and then you've also got the transition from autumn into winter, where you got rotting leaves on the ground. Now these ones work really nice with the KMCS suit, guys. And these change color the most when they're wet, followed after by these, and I'll be showing you a few clips of that, how that looks. So let's look at the first leaf by NOVRITSCH and its colors and how it compares to sneaky leaf. So this is LC1 Fern, and it matches not too, it's bar the texture and the realism in this, the colors aren't a million miles off on the sneaky leaf, but I will point out that that the sneaky leaf, you can definitely dye the 2 of these. They can definitely be dyed, there's no issue with that. That will take me to a very unique point later on these leaves when I was testing them for water absorption. So stay tuned to listen to that, because that's something that's kind of interesting. The next color then that we compare is NOVRITSCH LC1 Lime. Now it's similar in a way. It's kind of a leaf, half alive and dying. It's kind of close to Sneaky Leaf. But again, this is one of my favorite leaves. I think this one is like probably the most realistic one. It just really is nice that he has a few of these leaves. I think they go great in combination with some of these mixed in. They look really good. I love that fading color look. Then we're at the autumn months, so I think again this leaf is really good. Color wise, it's so spot on. Texture, you notice that these leaves are actually crumpled looking already. Some people in the buy Sneaky Leaves are very straight and they burn the edges so they curl up, but NOVRITSCH has actually achieved that already, which I think is pretty nice touch, so you don't need to go burning them. But again, I think he wins out on color for this one. Final color, and I don't have something that compares against it here in Sneaky Leaves, is LC1 Carob, it's called. So this is like your dead leaf, you know, this is well into winter. This just works so well with KMCS. It's a really nice leaf again. That takes you through the LC1 leaves. Now, Sneaky Leaves don't do a tri-type leaf, right? So we have nothing to compare against Sneaky Leaves and these LC2 leaves by NOVRITSCH. So we've got three colors here. We've got Emerald, we've got Peat, which is similar to the Carob LC1 in color, and we've also got Rust, which is similar to the Sienna leaf LC1. So these are all LC2 options. I'm actually, in a way, I wish these were bigger. I think they're really small. I was hoping for a lot bigger ones. You know, maybe about this size, kind of big leaves. And for some reason, I think maybe it'd be nicer if they're a bit shiny. Originally, when I saw these get advertised, I thought that these would be a lot bigger. So just note, they're actually quite small, right? They're actually quite small, these LC2 leaves. So this brings me on to, that's enough said about the colors. We're now going to look at how they absorb water. As you can see here in this test, I was dipping the leaves in the water and I was seeing how the different colors absorb water. So I think you find that the LC1 leaves, they take on the water quite easily. Because the fabric is quite thin and light, they will actually easily absorb water and change color. But because it's also, the fabric is so light, it's actually, it means you'll be able to dye these leaves more. But interesting enough, when I was dipping these leaves in the water, I don't know if you can see in this clip, but the water is actually changing color and it's actually turning the color of the leaves. Now, I did test this further, and what I found is that there's excess dye on the leaves and the leaves didn't actually lose colors, because I put one in my kitchen sink and I washed it and washed it and washed it to see could I get this thing to actually like turn white effectively. But no, it actually retained its color, so I put that down to excess dye. I still, however, wrote this and sent it back to NOVRITSCH's team just as feedback. I also tested the light and how transparent these leaves are, because light should pass through leaves to some extent, but light does pass through NOVRITSCH's leaves a lot easier than it does the thicker fabric on Sneaky Leaves. It's not a bad thing. I don't think it's something that will give you away, but I think it's just something that you need to know if you're getting these. So if one of these is sitting up on your shoulder and the sun is behind you, it might actually give these little strands here behind the leaf might actually show through. I don't know if you can see that there, like that. So I also wanted to see, you know, how strong these leaves were. So I did something that, you know, you typically wouldn't do, and I just did a tear test. And I have to say, Sneaky Leaves are nearly impossible to tear. They do, however, fray quite a lot over time. So if they're being taken in and out of your car, bundled up in your ghillie suit, they will fray over time, which is a pity. The only other little item that I thought was a little bit annoying was sometimes on the back of these LC2 leaves, no issues with LC1 leaves, there were some blobs of glue where there's excess glue put on. However, I will note that the leaf trying to separate the leaf from the spines, the plastic spines, is actually very difficult to do, and it actually won't come off from what I've tested. You're more likely to break this part of the stem first, which is what failed in my test. It's easier, of course, to tear the lighter fabric, and that's probably a reason why the light is passing through it. So, cost-wise, when Sneaky Leaves were made, they're actually quite expensive, especially for the amount you got in the pack. However, NOVRITSCH's leaves are working out at just 1/4 the amount of Sneaky Leaves, and you also get somewhere in the region of, so you get 50 leaves in each box, but they're double leaves, so that's 100 leaves in each box. So quantity wise, you're getting way more bang for your buck, way more realism and better colours. It's up to you what you want to buy in the end of the day. As I said, there is obviously other leaves you can get cheaper. You can get leaves in your garden centre, fake plants, etc. But I think these are made for the purpose, and the mounting, definitely the mounting system that he's come up with here is ingenious. Allows you to easily pop one colour leaf off, get another one, stick it on. These little tabs that he's produced are just brilliant, and the amazing thing is, obviously you need 50 of these in a box, so he actually gives you more than 50. He gives you somewhere around 60 in each pack, so just in case you lose a few. It'd be nice to see if you sold these separately. It'd be great. The fact that they work very nicely on KMCS ghillie suits, etc., is brilliant, and on your mesh masks also is like very important. So I think it's just really nice. So basically what I'm saying is you can push them through something like a mesh mask, but I wouldn't do it for my eyewear. Obviously I use it for my lowers, but it just means you can camo up your suit so fast, you can change it out so fast. I haven't applied any of the raffia yet, to be honest. Like, it's nice to have pre-dyed raffia. So you open it up here, and the colours are very good. He's got a lot of options, and there's quite a lot in here. There's definitely more than enough to do a ghillie suit. But what I would typically used to do is just buy raffia from my garden centre and spray paint it. But doing that, spray does wear off in times. There are better ways to dye raffia, but if you want a quick, easy option, you just buy it off NOVRITSCH. The colours are very nice. I think I'll be using these two colours primarily. There's no names on those colours, but yeah, that's a nice touch as well by NOVRITSCH, and something that is very handy. So I think in general, that's all I have to say. So in summary, you know, these NOVRITSCH leaves are definitely way more realistic than Sneaky Leaves. End of the day, Sneaky Leaves are tougher. The light doesn't shine through them as easily. They don't take on water absorption actually, and they don't change colour. NOVRITSCH's ones do, so that's a big plus for them. While there is excess dye on them that comes off, the colour doesn't wear out. Now, I wouldn't recommend putting it in a washing machine for a full cycle. You might wash your colours out then, but just note that, you know, these are way cheaper, they're more realistic, they're crumpled up. The fact that there's two options, you get way more in the box. Hands down, I think NOVRITSCH again has pulled off a very good product here, and value for money. And I think it's going to be a massive asset for anyone who's crafting and wants to craft your suit, especially fast. So definitely the small little niggly bits that I've mentioned are completely overshadowed by the leaves themselves. They are good. They are good. I'm not going to go around tearing these leaves, you know. I don't think there's a need personally to dye them. They're perfect. Whereas everyone has to dye Sneaky Leaves. It's just something that you have to do. I personally don't think there's any need to dye them. It would be nice, I would say, to get one level darker than this leaf. A slightly more ivy dark colour. And I'm sure that's something he can easily do. But my money is on the LC1 leaves as being the nicer ones, and the LC2 leaves have slightly kind of missed the boat a little bit. All in all, guys, if you can still get your hands on Sneaky Leaves, they're very good, and you know, I'm not going to shy away from that fact. They are the staple of sniping ghillie suit crafting up until now, this point, and it's a shame they've gone out of business, but it looks like we've got a new product in town and it's going to dominate. So again, I hope this is an informative video. I'm just telling you how it absolutely is, and this is obviously my opinions on the product, but I think you can see from all these clips that they look very good up close. And the feedback I've been giving back to NOVRITSCH, the team, anytime I've given feedback, it's always been taken on board. It's great to see that as a company, they're out there looking to improve all the time, and they want honest reviews. They want me to tell you the bad bits, and they want to hear the bad bits. That's the most important thing about the company. So again, thank you very much, guys and girls. I'm Fox Green. Obviously, I'm all about my gameplay, so don't forget to check that out. And obviously, here's my Instagram tag, foxgreen_airsofter. So check that out as well. I've done some giveaways on these leaves. I might be giving away a few more. I've got more than enough for my ghillie suit needs now. So I'll be giving away in excess probably a few more. So go over to my Instagrams, keep up with my competitions and what stuff I'm giving away and when. And you know, as always, thanks for my supporters watching this, and talk to you guys soon. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, and before I go, I've now got my own merch, things like t-shirts, patches, and dog tags. So guys, if you want any of my merch, again, foxgreen_airsofter on Instagram, and hit me a DM and I'll take your orders and it'll be out to you in a few weeks. I've got two different types of t-shirts, this type of one, and I've also got another one. But you'll see it all on my Instagram, so don't forget to check it out. See you guys.